A successful holiday weekend for the Cape Flyer. Details about tonight's town council meeting and a chance to learn how to stand up and paddle on this edition of Barnstable Today. Over the fourth holiday weekend, the Cape Flyer had a record number of riders. Tom Kerr said he is happy to see the train has been successful.
It's a 15-week pilot program that we thought might help, reduce congestion a little bit around the canal region, and we really didn't know what to expect in terms of ridership. But we were very confident based on the hard work that we did, making people aware that the train was available. And every week now we've had roughly around 600 people ride the train. So we really need only about 300 to break even in terms of what we've invested towards our operating costs. But this past weekend we had 2,300 people on the train. We did add an extra day on the 4th of July, but we had full trains all weekend and 2,300 over the course of the weekend.
Kerr said he hopes to see the Cape Flyer expand in the future.
And because of the overwhelming success, the overwhelming numbers that we're putting up, I think the Governor and Secretary of Transportation and General Manager of the MBTA are certainly paying attention to that, because I talked to them quite a bit. I talked to the Secretary yesterday, actually, and they're really pleased with what we're doing down here. So I would not at all be surprised if you do see some sort of effort to create daily commuter service to Buzzards Bay. I don't think you'll ever see commuter service on the Cape, because the track quality is not the same as off Cape, and there are quality of life issues on Cape and things like that. But I do think you'll see commuter rail to Buzzards Bay in the not too distant future. And obviously, if this continues with what we're doing up until Labor Day, there's going to be, and we're already being inundated with requests about extending the season or having more trains or having trains from here to Boston. So I think because of the success, some folks will pay attention to it, and obviously something will happen in subsequent years.
The Cape Flyer will provide weekend service from Boston to Hyannis through Labor Day. Round-trip fares are $35. The Town Council will be taking public comment on town ordinances related to property upkeep and will vote on extending Finance Director Mark Milne's contract with the town. We sat down with Vice President of Town Council Jessica Rapp-Grissetti. She gave us all the details about tonight's meeting. Joining me now is Town Council Vice President Jessica Rapp-Grissetti. Thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Thank you for having me.
And she is going to give us a preview of Thursday's Town Council meeting. Tell me, what is on the agenda for Thursday?
Well, we've got reoccurring our amending the Code of the Barnstable General Ordinances by inserting Chapter 54, which is the building and property maintenance. This, as most people would know, is a continued public hearing from, this is actually originated back in November of 2012, this proposed amendment to the code with regard to maintenance of property. And addressing the blighted properties throughout the town. And this is sponsored by Councilor Cullum and Cote and myself. And we'll see how this goes. It's our hope that this might be the last meeting, and we'll be able to vote and put this behind us. I know many.
Tell me a little bit about the details, if you can, about the ordinance and what it would do, what it would mean for homeowners.
Well, we don't want to be the paint police. This isn't to address people's paint peeling off their house. This is to address seriously blighted properties that bring down the value of surrounding properties. There's also, we want to address the persistent problem properties that attract nuisance, that attract health concerns for the health department. So we'll see how this goes. I mean, we've had a lot. This is initiated from Civic Association input, the Hyannis Civic Association and Osterville, and so this is a citizen-driven proposal. So hopefully we'll get through this. And also, with regard to that, there is the amending the general ordinances, Chapter 170 of the rental properties. And rental registration. This is to put responsibility on the owners of properties that rent properties, not only to the people that rent the properties, but to the homeowners, to make sure that they register their property with the town and are in compliance with the town. So those are, I think that will probably take up a good chunk of the agenda, and I expect there'll be considerable public input, as there has been over the past several months. So.
Well, what have you heard from residents as far as some of these ordinances go? Are they very supportive, or have you had trouble getting some of these through?
Well, you know, there's been, and myself included, some concerns about the Big Brother issue, and that we're not, we don't want to be, as I said, the paint police. But yet we want to strive for a community that is, you know, is kept up and not left to deteriorate, and bring the values of surrounding properties. And of course, there's going to be people that are concerned that the town might be overreaching their boundaries. But
so really, the town council is trying to find that balance of really keeping up the community, but not going over top.
That's right. That's right. And I think because of that, one of the agenda items, agenda item 166, amending the code of the town of Barnstable General Ordinance by inserting Chapter 224, vacant or foreclosing properties, and that's to address just the properties where there's no one living there. But we want to see some kind of maintenance, whether it be by the bank-owned owner of the property or whatnot, but rather than just having it boarded up so that it's attractive.
Finding out who's responsible for maintenance of that home once it goes into foreclosure.
That's right. That's right.
And maybe even holding, at this point, banks accountable for keeping up the property.
That's right. Yeah. Let's see.
I think there was also some good news that will be shared at the town council meeting about some wheelchair donations. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
That's right. This is an acceptance of a gift of 4 beach wheelchairs from Smile, which is Smile Mass, which is Small Miracles in Life Exist. It's a mass nonprofit organization, and it's to help handicapped children and their families enjoy our beaches. And I know these are going to be installed, and I think they've already been supplied down to the beaches, and I'm going to say there's 3 beaches: Douses, Loop Beach, and Millway Beach.
Great.
And we're very happy to accept this donation. Another thing on the agenda is approving a contract extension for the finance director, Mark Milne. And when that was up for discussion, I myself said that's a no-brainer. I'd like to extend his contract for another 20 years, but that certainly can't be done. But that is on the agenda, and I don't expect to have any problems with that going through.
Great.
And a few other housekeeping items, reappointments to boards, committees, commissions, and also authorizing the town manager to negotiate and execute project development agreement with Cape and Vineyard Electric Cooperative. The council has done that before, but this is with regards to the Independence Park project, the Breeds Hill project, solar array on Breeds Hill. You know, a light agenda, but at the same time,
a lot of important topics happening and being covered.
Yeah, yeah. And this is our only meeting in July, and our next council meeting will be in August. So.
Well, great. Thank you for coming and stopping by and going over the agenda with us this morning.
Thank you. My pleasure.
The Town Council meeting takes place tonight at 7 in the Town Hall hearing room. That meeting will air live on Channel 18. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannel.